ease on down the road. There can't be nothing down, dun dun dun. Won't you ease on down the road. Okay. My daughter did a prank, and she put a filter on, but this filter looks pretty nice. So I think I'm gonna keep it. I usually try not to use any filters because I think a lot of times, like with makeup, you get used to like a filtered version of yourself, and then you start to not like what you look like, if that makes any sense. So I always try to keep it very minimal, but my daughter said, "Oh, I did a prank." And I was like, "Oh, wait, this prank actually, it looks good." So, I have some book recommendations. So I'm always on, well, I wouldn't say always on a journey, but there's like times where I take time to go and redo my steps, if you will. Oh, also, hey, if you're just now joining, Lee Mariah Rose, that's me. I also am on Instagram, Lee Mariah Rose, but I'm not accepting any new followers. It's a private account. This account will go back to being private. Thank you, Color Mom. Your name is so me right now. That's why I'm in this one spot. And then I also have a YouTube channel, Lee Mariah Rose. Lee, Lee, Mariah like the singer, Rose like the flower. Thank you. It's filtered, but maybe I won't say anything. I'll just be like, no, this is just me naturally. My dad, he was so nice today. He was like, what have you been up to? I was like, good. I had my hair wrapped up. And he was like, so, what are you going to do to your hair? And I was like, I don't know yet. There's a lot of swirly birds in my mind right now. What's the topic? Oh, I have some book recommendations. So, and they're not boring books. And it's books I feel like everyone should have. And it's not, I mean, everyone should have or like pick up something like these types of books. So anytime I go and like rehash like my steps. I have to like do this inventory of just checking in with myself and how I feel and all that good stuff. My dad loves my locks. He knows when my parents know me very well. And so they know once it goes like when I go a while without doing my hair, they know that something is going up. You know? Naya, hi. I think people just misunderstand you. Story of my life. Hey, Queen Gonzalez. It's the story of my life. But again, it's one of those things I know that I'm misunderstood. It's a lot about my voice. And my humor, my sense of humor, a lot of people don't get. And then on top of just the way I live and my perception or my perspective on life and that kind of stuff. And then it comes across as very rude and condescending, which I'm not. It's just my voice. But if I'm rude, you'll know I'm rude. But if it's like, is she being rude? Most likely I'm not being rude. It's just my voice and my face. Hey, James. So anyway, book recommendations. So every like, I do this like twice a year where I just go through and I have like a self inventory of just what's going on in my life, what I can do better, what I've done, all that good stuff, right? Hey, Senior Meteor Surfer. Hey, 31416 Pi. No, all my pictures are straight. Would you ever come out with your story or how you handle situations? I do actually. I talk about it a lot. And that's one of the things that people actually don't like is that I'm super open. Hey, Sarah, that I'm super open to always saying my story. Like, and it's not a story, it's just my life. Like, I'm always, people are like, well, maybe you talk too much and all that kind of stuff. But I'm always like, no, not really, because a lot of people have a perception of what they think someone should do or act like or anything like that. And sometimes it's always best, like, get it all out there so that people can see that this is what depression looks like, or anxiety, or recovery, and all that good stuff, right? So that's always been like, that's always just been me. I just tell people, I talk about everything so that no one could ever throw anything in my face, because it's like, I've been through that before. This is not new. But I don't find myself getting, I wouldn't say I'm being bullied on this app. I would say people just misunderstand me, and they don't believe I'm genuine, right? And I like to treat everyone like as a human, you know. I realized going to my middle 20s that I've learned a lot about myself, reflection. I know your dad is, but do you ever struggle financially? Yes, I do. I do struggle financially. It's it's really hard out here, you know. I am a mother who happens to be single with 2 children. So yeah, but I work, so it's not one of those things. People, there's a whatchamacallit, a perception that I don't work. Oh, by work, I just happen to be able to work from home, and so I get to be a stay-at-home mom and all that kind of stuff. Well, all that good stuff. Yeah, I have 2 kids. My oldest is 10. My youngest is 9. It definitely looks like bullying. However, when I take my inventory and stuff, once I say when I take my inventory, I have to write down what I've done to contribute, like what's my part, you know? Like nothing is just done to you. Like you in some situations, nothing is ever just done to you. Things aren't just done to you. Like sometimes you're not being bullied without reason. So I have to go back, and I always have to see, like, what did I do to bring this on myself? Where is my part in this? And so once I start from there and I take my inventory and everything like that, and I talk to my therapist, my sponsor, all that kind of stuff, it's one of those things that it's one of those things. It's just, you have to own your SHIT, if you will. Right? So, but I got this new book the other day. It's recommended by the Matriarchy. And this book is called Why Does He Do That? Hi, Virginia. Inside the Minds of Angry and Controlling Men. So I bought this book, read the first few chapters. It's a really good book. However, this is what I'll tell you. When you find books like that and what you're trying to understand about people and the way that they behave and all that good stuff, is I feel like there should be like a whole bunch of books that you should have. So I've always said this. I haven't said it in a while because I have like, hey, always lurking. I haven't said it in a while just because I've been kind of stressed, and since I'm stressed and everything, I kind of go within. I got like really go inwardly and just like try not to talk too much. But then I realized there's a lot of things book wise that everyone should have as a way to like really get a full scope of who you are, and as well as reading other people's stories. All these books are nonfiction. Someone asked me that. For I tell you, how do you deal with your alcoholism, if you don't mind me asking? Well, I abstain from it, and I'm also part of a fight club. I can't talk about the fight club, but I'm part of that fight club, and I'm really, like, I'm a stickler for making sure I go to my meetings and checking in with the sponsor, as well as really good to have a therapist. And I go to church and everything like that. Like, I have no, what's the word? What's that word? I have no feelings about like, oh, I wish I can drink. Like, that has gone. I just don't like to be around alcohol, but I'm a recovered alcoholic, and that's just one of the urges. Thank you, Creole Ash. There is someone else that has a Creole name, and I see them in some other lives sometime, and I always remember you, Creole Athena. I don't know if I like her, but I know that I know Creole Ash, so that's why I'm always like, but now I remember. No desire. I have no desire, no urge to want to drink. I want to say in the past 6 years, there have been 2 times when I felt like, why do I have to be the one to do the self-inventory or the self-reflection or trying to make things better and making these amends? Like, why is it that I always have to do this? And it seems like no one else is living by these very rules. And so there have been times I've just been pissed. So, yeah, you can ask. But don't say his name one too many times because, like, so I think one time was when the beginning of my divorce. I had been like 6 months sober, maybe 6 months sober, and we had to do our taxes, but because we weren't during that tax year, technically we were still married, so we had to do our taxes. So he wanted all of the tax papers, and I was like, your living situation is precarious. I feel like I should have those. And I remember he took the big envelope and chucked it out the window at me, and I was just like so mad because I was like, this is someone that I adore, like I care about, like, and now he's treating me like this. And so I was like super angry. I brought my kids to the house and I went to my mom's house, but my mom was out of town because there was a fire at the house. So my mom had, all those kind of things. My sister was at her house because there had also been a big flood, so they had to redo my sister's house. And so I was like, listen, I'm going to scream at you because I don't want to drink, and I understand that my anger is misplaced. So I'm screaming not to you, more of like around you, because I just don't want to be by myself feeling this angry, right? So that was a few years back. And then I want to say last year around this time, the bullying and harassment actually got extremely, really, really bad. Really bad. And there was people trading around revenge porn. And I was like not sleeping and all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna hurry up and get through the story so I could tell you all the book recommendations. But I wasn't sleeping and I wasn't really eating, and I was just like super lonely because I felt like it was so stupid because TikTok is not real, like the internet's not real, but then it was starting to come into my life. But what had happened was I have a roommate / cousin / nanny that lives with me, and she was getting a whole bunch of stuff so she can send to her family. And one of the things that she had was some bottles of wine. And so I was walking in my house looking for something, I don't remember. But I passed by and I was like, is that wine in this house? And I was pissed because I felt like the devil was testing me because, like, this is my home. This is my space. This is where I'm safe. All of that kind of stuff. I come to my house. I don't have to think about tiptoeing around anybody. I don't have to, like, think about, oh, I'm going to pull something out of the fridge and then be faced with a beer or something like that. I don't have to wear any of that. So at this time when I was like extremely emotional, I was really upset, but I knew it wasn't an upsetness of like, I want to drink, but it was one of those things like everything is being set up to to fail, right? But thankfully, I have like a really good support system, and I called my niece and I told her about it because I was too angry to tell my roommate slash nanny slash cousin who's living with me. I was too angry to tell her about it, and I didn't want there to be like this huge fight at 12 o'clock at night or something. And then I called a friend of mine and I was like, I'm just letting you know, like, this is what happened. I didn't feel like I wanted to drink. It was just there, and it made me feel it just made me feel like I was being tested, right? Hey, sunshine. So anyway, back to the book recommendations. Now, I was saying I just now started reading this book, right? And it was recommended by the Patriarchy. And why does he do that? Inside the Angry Minds of Angry and Controlling Men. Now, a lot of times when we read books like this or self-help books like that, I always feel like people need to get like a well-round. You can't just like jump into this book without knowing a little bit more, you know? Oh, all my friends know about my drinking. I've been sober for 6 years. Sunshine, I'm a fraud? Give me one time. Give me one example. Give me one example. If you can't give me an actual example of how I have frauded you specifically, then you are out of here. Okay? Anyway, so I always feel like you need to have like a whole... Wait, you didn't ask the question. You said, can you ask a genuine question? And then you didn't ask it. She shouldn't have had... No, it's not. It just shouldn't have been in my home. Like, I don't care what other people do, but it's my home. It's the one place, you know? It's the one place. So she just didn't think of anything because she bought it and she was going to send it out the next day. It wasn't that kind of thing, but it was one of those things where it was like, I felt like it was I didn't blame her. It was just, I felt like the devil was testing me. Oh, I sent it. What happened? I asked, why do y'all keep going on each other's lives if you broke up? Actually, I don't want to go on. I try not to go on his lives much anymore. I feel like I'm punishing myself if I keep on. So I've kind of just tried to like distance myself in a way, you know? You know what I'm saying? And so we're friends, but he said some pretty mean things to me in the past few days. So I've just been like, all right, we gotta just do some self-work, and we need to start getting out of this feeling. You dig? So, Lauren, yes, it's one of those things, you know, because either way, I'm going to be brought up into something. So if I can control how I'm being brought up, what's going on, that kind of thing, then I can kind of get ahead of it to just be like, hey, this is not me talking. I don't need a man to speak for me. The only man that I have speak for me, and they speak to me, is my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and my dad. Anyway, so the other books, like I said, I feel like you need to be a well-rounded person and understand yourself. It's not just dive in head first into any self-help book. So I feel like when you start to read and start to like make changes into how you view yourself and or how you believe that people perceive you, a lot of times there's a few books that I just think everyone should read or should at least have, right? So like I said, just started reading this one. It's a good book. It gives you like a really good view as to the common denominators in certain types of men. And I really don't like to say the word abusers because I feel like that's just too broad of a statement. And but it's just inside the minds of the way that some people think. And that's people who are controlling and like super angry for no good reason. I mean, they have their reasons, but to me, it's just no good reason. Like, no matter what anyone says, if you're out there and you're just causing chaos just to cause chaos, just because it makes you feel good, that's something's wrong. You should really, really look into that. I think the word is Schadenfreude, when you like to see others in pain, or you like to see others, you know? I don't know if it sounds like him, but I just think if there's any person out there who that is their thing, right? Hey, Michael. If that's their thing, that they like to see the suffering of others, that is someone that needs some introspection. They need to do some work on themselves. And I'm not talking about anyone in particular. I'm just saying in general. And we're seeing a lot of this. It's not just this one guy that, I might have had a situationship with. We see this a lot. We see people who are sick. Like, remember when President Trump got COVID, and everyone was like, yeah, that's what he gets. Hope he dies. And it was like, are you people insane? Thank you. It's a mess, but this filter is making it look so much better right now. I was like, oh, another Republican got the COVID. Good for them. Hope he dies. Oh, anti-vaxxer, you got COVID. Hope you die. Like those types of things where it was like, oh, okay, right? One of those things. So if that is their feeling, where it makes them feel good. It makes them feel good to see other people suffer. They have some inside work to do. And today I was called spineless and a coward. And the other day I was called a whore, which is not the first time I've been called a whore, so it's not a big deal. And but at first I took it into of like, what is it about me? What can I do to do something better that like someone wouldn't say that to me? But then I thought about it. I was like, wait, that's not me. Then I started taking inventory. And it was like, what did I do to maybe cause someone to say those things? I'm going to clean my side of the street, right? Anyway, with all that said, here are some books I feel like you guys should all invest in just because they're good books. Now, the first one, For Women, this is a good book. Why does he do that? That kind of stuff. Drama is not my alcohol. I don't like drama. I like a very quiet life, and I like to just joke about stupid stuff, and my sarcasm and my satire and the way I speak, people believe that it's drama, but it's not, it's just that. Also, this book here, now this book, probably my favorite book ever. And no one's paying me to say this at all. It's my favorite book. There have been many a times where I go, I feel like I've heard this story, and then I'm just like, oh, it's George Foreman's Guide to Life, How to Get Up Off the Canvas When Life Knocks You Down. Very, very good book, and I feel like all people should read it. And it talks a lot about raising children, what happens if you're married and you're divorced, how do you go about that relationship? And it's a quick read, right? Third book recommendation, and I am not contractually obligated to say this, but I am contractually obligated to say this because my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ has really helped me through a lot of things. When all else fails, the Holy Bible has every single thing that you can ever need, right? And then again, this is something that might be super specific to certain people, but this is what helps me. Again, something that I can pick up, read, go through, pick up a story, and like try and make sense of things in terms of what can I do in my life to make things better, not just for my life, but make things better for others. And again, this is all about taking inventory and cleaning up your side of the street. Now, this book, we call it the Big Book, but it's the Alcoholics Anonymous book. Now, I believe this Alcoholics Anonymous book and the Bible really go hand in hand because honestly, in my opinion, the author of the Big Book lifted a lot from the Holy Bible. That's why I say it's good to have both. And then this kind of goes along with it, which is the 12 steps and the 12 traditions. And it just kind of tells you like how to live the program and all that kind of stuff. Now, the greatest thing I've always said about these types of books is that you don't have to be an alcoholic or an addict to still get something good from these books. So that's what's been on my mind lately. And then I've been writing a lot. But yeah, but this one is the newest one I got, and this is a really good one. Another grifter. I don't think you're using that word correctly. I don't think you are. It's okay. But yeah, so I do all of this. I did all of that to tell you all about those books because it's something that's just, when you're going around, and especially in social media land now, where everyone is always upset about things, everyone looks at things between this lens of black and white, where there's a lot of things that are nuanced. And so I feel when you come across people, and again, this is social media mostly, but this actually helps in life because people are starting to emulate what they see on social media, right? And so I feel like if you find out a little bit more, like start to find out more about who you are, what you like, all that kind of stuff, then you can figure out how in all situations you can flourish because you know who you are deep down inside, that kind of thing. Hey, love. Yeah, I'm fine. Make an ASMR channel. Your voice is actually soothing. You're the second person who has said something similar to that to me today. But I am putting together like a reels so I can send out to this friend of mine. He's this comedian, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, you're wasting your talent. And I was like, okay. Okay, so I told y'all it's going to be a quick live, and I'm not trying to push any of my beliefs on you. You can take it, you can leave it, whatever. These are just good books to have. Sunshine, name one lie. You keep on saying things, but you have to give me an example. And if you don't give me an example, I'm gonna have to kick you out of this live. Because you can't just say things without having some evidence. Can't just call me a fraud and a pathological liar and a grifter without giving me some evidence. Am I asking for money? No. Have you ever heard me ask for money? No. Never. Have I ever asked you to buy anything from me? No. So, you gotta do those things. I don't think you really know me all that well. To explain my sarcasm is just me. I take nothing super serious, so it's one of those things that like it's just every single bit of my character. It's hard to say. Every single bit of my character is just like, is she serious? Like, does she mean what's going on here? And then I'll go, I'm just joking, you know? I'd be like, you know, that kind of thing. But, or something where I'm not even being sarcastic. I think I say to someone like, I'm so humble. I was born in humble. Like, please talk about humility. I have all of it. I was born in humble. Hey, ask me. I was born in humble. I was born to be humble because I was literally born in Humble, Texas. So I'm so humble, born in humble. I really don't believe in astrology, but a good friend of mine here, and y'all should follow her because she's hilarious and she knows how to cook and all that kind of stuff. Her name is Candy Capricorn. And apparently, I'm a Virgo on the cusp. My birthday's September 21st. But I really don't believe in that. So as I was like sitting down and I was reading all my books and like writing my notes and my inventory of all that kind of stuff, I came across what I wrote a few months ago, and I was just like, this kind of applies. I'm so happy I wrote this down a while ago, and I keep journals. Yeah, my birthday's on the 21st September, and I think this year I might celebrate it. I don't believe in celebrating my birthday, and it's really like so stupid, but I don't believe in celebrating it because I feel like I just don't deserve it because of a lot of years. For a lot of years, I was hiding. I don't want this to be all about alcoholism because people say that I will use that as like a crutch to be a victim, but it's just not. But for a lot of years, I was living like these multiple lives, if you will. So I just felt like, until I have given back all of everything I did to hide, until I've given that back, I don't feel like I deserve to celebrate my birthday. So actually, my AA birthday is more important. So. But anyway, so this is what I wrote last year when I was doing some take truth as sarcasm. Well, yeah. A lot of times I will be speaking truth and I'll be saying it sarcastically. And that gets me in trouble. So this is what I wrote last year. I said, I wrote this last year because I was doing my inventory last year because I do it twice a year. Like you're supposed to do it at least twice a year. I said, the devil will come and wear you out, but God will always be there. Remember, you're doing good. When you're doing good, God will bless you. Embrace the love God gives. And that's what I wrote last year. And I was like, man, that's such a good thing that I wrote that. Why? And I just happened to open up my journal. I'm just like right there because I was starting to write down some of the spineless, coward, humiliation, disappointment, and horror because I like to make sure that I write things down because I will always forgive people. Always. And then I forget what they do. And then I'm like, why did I forgive this person? Why did I give them another shot? You know? Hey, The Real Purple Michelle. I don't know if you got my message the other day, but I meant to tell you, like when we were talking the other day, and you know, I was telling you, hurry up and be quick with it. There was no like malice on my part. I was not mad at you or anything. I just wanted to make sure that you knew that there was no like hard, I'm a mean person. I wasn't being mean to you intentionally. I know it sounded like I was being really rude, but it really was because I didn't want to answer. I didn't want to talk about certain things. I knew where you were going in the conversation, but I just felt like the setting that we were, I felt like it wasn't the right setting, and I was already hot about something else, and I felt like although I could have been nicer. I was being rude. I was being short, but it was not anything directed at you whatsoever. So yeah. So then as I'm writing and doing my inventory of this year, right? Then I went back to 2018 of March and I wrote, never take a recess from your joy, and which I have been doing. I have just been giving up and being like, this isn't fun anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, what's the purpose? Sometimes I wake up in the morning, I'm just like, this all sucks. What's the purpose of all this? Why am I doing any of this? Why am I thinking of any of this? Like, and then sometimes, yeah, of course. And then sometimes when people will, like, Purple Michelle, like you said that, I am only using this as just a recent, because it's recent, but Naya said, yeah, of course. And I think No Cry Zone said, why is it that I always bring up that I'm crazy or that I'm a recovering alcoholic? Why it always seems that I'm bringing that up as a way to like get people to leave me alone or not to be very hard on me. But it's like, that's not the case at all. That is my life, right? Like, being recovered is my life, although it's just, some people will never understand how it looks. And so it's like when you're talking to me and you ask me a question and the question is related to something that I've changed in my life, I've made these drastic changes in my life because I recognized and I admitted that I was an alcoholic. And once I recognized and I admitted that, then from then on, my life has changed dramatically. So when people ask me questions or like, why do you do this? Or are you doing this? And all that kind of stuff. And the core of the answer is because I made a change, a drastic change to my life. And that's just who I am. It's part of my story. And it's who I am. It's not something that I decided I'm pulling out the mental health card or something because you guys are being mean to me. No, I'm just saying what is true. Like, that's just that. Okay, you know him on personal level, so is he the person he portrays himself online? Yes, unfortunately. And not unfortunately in a bad way, just in case anybody tries to go and do all that, you know? That is who he is. I was surprised too. But that's exactly who he is. The way that he is online, the way that y'all see him online, is exactly the way he is offline. Now, not that there's anything wrong with that, because the way that I am online is exactly the way that I am offline. However, I have tact and I know how to watch my language, as well as I'm not going to go out of my way to punch down. Why do you involve yourself with him as you're much better than him? It's not that I'm better. I don't think that I'm better than anyone. And like I said, he came into my life at a time when it felt like there's a lot of, like, this whole social media thing and like how people treat me now, it was much worse at a time. And he was actually on the side of people who were making it worse, you know? So, he was just, but I treated him just like I would treat anyone else. And I guess some people are not used to other people treating them like humans, like that you're worth something. I think a lot of people expect to be treated poorly at all times because of the way that they speak, look, act, any of that kind of stuff. It's really something that's always been kind of bizarre when like I meet someone and I'm like, hey, how are you? And I'm really like involved into what they're talking about. And it's so surprising when it's like, why are you so nice to me? Like, do you know what I've done? It's like, no, I don't. Why does that matter? Well, have you seen what people say about me? Yeah, But have you seen what people say about me? You know? Thank you, Jimmy Green. You've been through a lot, though. I think you need to correct people. And I have correct people in my life. In real life, I have correct people in my life. All I need, really, all anyone leaves in your life: God, Jesus, therapist, mother and father, 10 siblings, 2 kids, countless amounts of nieces and nephews. That's it. That's all you need. You can have some friends. Have a little bit of friends, but you don't need those friends that you have to call all the time. You don't need those type of friends. The type of friends where you can go about 3 months without speaking to them, right? But you pick up the phone and call them, and then you're like that. Those kind of friends. Good, real friends. That kind. So, yeah, I've been taking a recess from my joy. I've been doing things that I don't like to do. Right? And that was my 2008 inventory and 2018 inventory, and then my 2009, no, this was 2020 inventory about the devil will always come and wear you out, because I was reading the book of Job, and it was one of those things. Yeah, that's my best friend from middle school. She and I are the same. You should go outside somewhere. You look hot. I am hot right now, actually, because I turned my air conditioning down because it's so loud. But yes, book recommendations. This is a good read. Good read. Also, if you get one good serial killer book, it's another, I'm studying BTK right now, because I just feel like he makes no sense as to the why, which I understand that there's a lot to go in. There's a lot of things that go in there. I really think that the devil just gets into people, but I also want to see a little bit more of human behavior, right? So, but this is what I'm reading right now. It's a really good book, I will tell you. I know it's a little bit hard to read, only for me, because I just think that using the word abuser just is a little bit too broad. I don't know. It's like when you say someone's an abuser, then it's like, oh, so someone, like, what are you saying? It's like, no, I'm not saying that, but that's the verbiage of this book. So you always have to kind of like just check in your brain and be like, this book is not pertaining to a specific abuser, or like to label people abuser or abusive. It's just about understanding why people are controlling, and why some people just won't change, and how to navigate your life to where, if you have a partner or a partner or someone in your life who's like that, then you kind of to pick up little tools along the way to not get yourself too hurt. And also it always gets worse and never truly gets better. Because like my ex-husband, he was jealous, insecure when we were dating. I thought, like an idiot, and I know I'm not the only person here, but I thought when my ex-husband, right? I thought when we got married, the insecurity and the jealousy and stuff like that would all go away like poof. Battery, sorry. I thought all the jealousy and the insecurity would go away like poof. No, it did not. No. I was like 9 months pregnant, and my ex-husband was like, where do you think you're going with that on? And I was like, this is the only thing that fits. Oh, so you're just trying to go out there and smile in men's faces? And I was like, but I'm pregnant though. And he was like, You don't think that like men find pregnant women attractive? And I was like, but I'm married and pregnant though. It just got worse, you guys. It just got worse. But now I understand him and he's not my problem anymore, so. And that book also, more tools in your toolbox. And this book also talks about those types of insecure dudes where it's like, there's nothing I can do. It's like, I'm telling you, I'm at home. You're not home. You're not, what are you doing at home? Sitting? Why are you liking pictures of Idris Elba? You think that's hot? Yes, but it's Idris Elba. Why are you looking through my likes on Instagram? I'm telling you, it was the best thing ever when Instagram and TikTok and Facebook stopped telling you when when you became friends with people and when you liked their posts. I'm telling you, that probably added a good year and a half onto my marriage that was already going through the dirt. But yeah, so that book, really good. And like I said, always have that Holy Bible. And this book, good book right here, Guide to Life. You find it at Amazon. Just put George Foreman's Guide to Life. Really good book. This is the blue book. It's the big book, we call it. And but there's a lot of things in here. It's not just for if you're suffering through alcoholism. I think this is a good life book. And also the Holy Bible. If you have these things, you can really conquer everything. And at least one serial killer book. At least one. Because you want to know as much as you can about human behavior, as well as what to do when you get yourself in certain situations. Am I no longer in a relationship with? No. And I also never said that I was in a relationship with him because I really don't believe in those types of labels. I'm a single woman, I'm one of those believers of if you're not married, you're single. So it was like, hey, we're exclusive. However, live in two different states. I don't know what the HE double hockey sticks that you're doing. So I know what I'm doing. That's all that matters. You could be lying to me. All water under the bridge. I'm just trying to make my life easier and go through this transition. And if that means just really falling back into what I know to do, and that's taking inventory. And going from there. And really, it's not weak, right? It's not weak or cowardice if you own what you did or what you have done to others. It is not weak at all. So, there was a conversation today about how I will never, there are some things about me that will never be respected because I'm spineless and weak and a coward because I apologize for my part in hurting someone. And those people still talked a lot of SHIT about me. They still do. Who cares? Whatevs, right? But that's not a sign of weakness. And I really want people to understand, when you sit down and you want to, take inventory of, look at the things that you're doing in your life and you feel like you want to do better and you feel bad for how you may have made someone feel, that's not weak. To reach out and to try and to apologize, make amends, any of those things. That's not weak. That's just understanding that you hurt someone and do better not to hurt them. It's not weak. And I will only really ever apologize when I truly mean it. I'm not just going out there being like, I'm sorry. No, it's like, no, here's a specific thing that I did that I know that hurt you. And it may not, you cannot forgive me. I think I apologized to Patrick one, I was like, you don't have to forgive me, any of that, but I want you to know that how I made you feel was wrong, and I apologize for that. Now Patrick, he can go and do the exact same thing to me again, or I don't want to talk to that guy ever again. Trust me, never, ever, ever. But I'm trying to make sure I keep my side of the street clean, right? And this is why I don't respond to your text messages. Scala. The creator? I don't get it. Also, the real Purple Michelle, since I know that you and No Cry Zone are friends, I will tell you, I will never speak to that woman again. Never. I never want to speak to her again. No hard feelings or anything, just she's not the type of woman that I want to be around or even have conversations with. Hey, Ray. Rover, bend me right over. This is why you're talking about being texted and have me blocked here. No, I have your text messages are open. If that's Scala, your text messages are open. Then you're not blocked. If you were blocked, then you wouldn't be able to be here. But you have another account? Just stop responding, it'll never end. No, I am. That's why I was saying I was giving you guys a good thing. So anyway, it's never a bad thing to take a responsibility for the mistakes you've made. That's never a bad thing. It is Scala. The mind games trying to keep up with someone spinning is always wrapped. I don't believe that, Scala. I'm gonna mute. The mind games trying to keep someone spinning and wrapped up. Yeah. When you respond, you give the opportunity to bring up other stuff. You're right. And that's why I said I was going to stop responding. And I just don't want to be a part of this constant toxicity. But like I said, there are people who have their ways about doing things. And but when I sit down and I'm self-reflective and I try not to, because the first thing I'll do is go, I need to change something about me. Something about me is wrong. Like, what's wrong with me? And then doing that inventory is always a really good thing to do. And then understanding individuals is really good. And like I said, there is nothing wrong for owning up to the mistakes that you've made. It doesn't make you a coward. It doesn't make you a whore. It doesn't make you spineless. It doesn't make you disloyal. It just makes you mature enough to understand that there are things that you could have done to make someone's life hard. And why not just be that one less person to make their life hard? Right? What do I think about the Blamazon app? I don't have it. I don't have his app. I know it's available on the Apple App Store. And from what I've heard, the Blammies was a lot of fun. And he's building it from the ground up, which is something that a lot of people don't do. So I learned about that by researching his company. And so, I mean, I don't understand the investment side of it. I don't do numbers, but it seems that he's super popular. So whatever he's doing, if he's doing it positively, can you could you, like, can you really say something's bad if it's for doing something positively for his community, that kind of thing? So, but his locks look better than mine, and I'm salty about that. So, where did those feelings come forth? Everyone is upset with him because of the money. Oh, the investment stuff? See, I don't understand that, so I can't really be upset about it. I've had my locks for 9 years. 8 years. 8 years. Because I've started them, I started them when I was pregnant with Lila, so 9 years. Thank you. Yeah, to me, it's like, as long as he continues to move forward in a positive direction with his company, again, it's one of those things, like, just as he has you have sister locks, man, I couldn't do it. I think he's doing something good, like, it's the entrepreneurial spirit, whatever, and that's, like, I think that's, like, the bedrock of America. So he just, as long as he has his vision and he continues on that vision and not get knocked off by any of that, like, negative energy that will affect your business. I support the company. I just think there's a few kinks to work out. Yeah. It took a while to install, but I love them. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people like Blamazon, the person. So, which is good. I'm trying to figure out how you get into it with others. Is the Purple Michelle still here? I think it's because it's the perception. There's, like, a perception of me. So I come across as holier than thou, know-it-all, I'm better than you, that kind of thing. That's how I come across. But I'm not like that, but that's something that you have to get to know me. It's one of those things that people don't really figure out until they've known me for a bit. It's like, I know a good friend of mine, she told me once, I thought you were a bitch and, like, super snobby, but you're actually really nice. And I was like, thanks. So, no, the lock community is the tops. Yeah, only perfect person walked there was with Jesus. Facts. Okay, last story, and then I'm gonna go. So, I didn't see that when you were in others' lives. I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you. A lot of people do have a bad taste in their mouth toward me because of who I have been friends with. So they just assume I'm a drama person. But it's just like, what is it? You judge the fruits by their labor, the trees, something like that. I don't know. But the only perfect person to walk the earth was Jesus. Now listen here, Janelle. I say that all the time, right? But there was the idea. I woke up in a dream one day. I had a dream, and I woke up and I was crying, and I picked up my Bible, which everyone should have, King James Version, and I went to the part where it was Jesus was walking on water, and Peter was sinking. Judge the tree by the fruit it bears. Yes, that's the one. And so Jesus told Peter he can walk on water, and so Peter did. But then the wind started blowing, and then Peter started sinking, and so I was, like, envisioning it in my head, and I was thinking, like, can you imagine, like, if you're best friends with Jesus, right? He's walking on water, and he's like, yeah, you can do it too. But then then you get scared, but then you're like, that nothing bad's gonna happen because you're your best friends right there, right? To like pick you up. Anyway, so I read that every once in a while, and I always think like when you walk by faith, that's that. And it's also one of the most amazing feelings, because I was like, I couldn't imagine just being like, but like, oh, I'm sinking, I'm gonna die. But then Jesus is right there with his hand. And he's like, come on, bruh. I always felt like that was the most beautiful thing ever. But yeah, last story. Anyway, I hope y'all have a great rest of your evening. Remember, check out the books I told y'all about. Why Does He Do That? Guide to Life. They're genuine questions. No. Oh, no, I wasn't saying that they were not genuine. I don't mind having conversation. Guide to Life. Make sure you go on Amazon, check that out. And Holy Bible. Really good books. I'm telling you. And I'll find that BTK book that I've been studying. It's like really good. But yeah. Anyway, y'all have a great rest of your evening and an awesome tomorrow. And hopefully a better day, right? So Obama mic drop, Trump press balls, Broadway voice. We out.